Vaishnavi? Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Stitches.
It's okay if it's balanced and but when someone comes it is అసలు వస్తుందా it is live కదా
I have 5. Net. Sorry, link share.
నా దగ్గర 2 bars ఉన్నాయి
ఇది 5G ఉంది, నాకు ఎందుకు రావట్లేదు?
Good morning, everyone. Dr. Madhvi Lata ma'am, Head of Humanities and Mathematics Department, and our esteemed Chief Guest, Srimati G. Pallavi ma'am. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this prestigious mock parliament session. As we gather to simulate the essence of parliamentary proceedings, it is important to remember the significance of the Constitution Day celebrated on the 26th of November. Our Constitution, the backbone of our democracy, stands as a symbol of justice, equality, and progress. On this occasion, now I request the dignitaries on the dais to inaugurate the session by lighting the lamp. महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि महागणपतिं मनसा स्मरामि वसिष्ठवामदेवरिवन्दितमहागणपतिं महादेवसुतं गुरुगुहनुतं महादेवसुतं गुरुगुहनुतं मारकोटि प्रकाशं शान्तं महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियम् महाकाव्यनाटकादिप्रियं मूषिकवाहनमोदकप्रियं महागणपतिम्
इनको कलर लग गया तो पिया नहीं पिया
Now, it is my honor to introduce our esteemed Chief Guest, Srimati G. Pallavi ma'am, the Deputy Secretary to the Governor of Telangana. A highly accomplished individual, she has played a pivotal role in driving administrative excellence and fostering governance initiatives in the state. Her proactive approach to work, coupled with her flexibility and pleasant demeanor, made her an asset to the organizations. She began her career in the Telangana state government as a directly recruited Group 1 officer in 2017. She served as Mandal Parishad Development Officer in Warangal and Hanmakonda districts under the Panchayat Raj Department. Between 2017 and 2023, she earned numerous accolades at both district and state levels for her exceptional contributions in various fields, including the conduct of local body, assembly and parliamentary elections, implementation of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, management of the COVID-19 pandemic, execution of Haritaharam, development of parks and graveyards, and initiatives in education, welfare programs and environmental protection. In 2023, she took on the role of Administrative Officer on Deputation in the BC Welfare Department in Hyderabad, where she later served as the Director of the Telangana State BC Study Circle. In September 2024, she joined as the Deputy Secretary to the Governor at Raj Bhavan, Hyderabad, continuing her commitment to excellence and public service. We are truly privileged to have such an inspiring personality among us. Let us welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Now, I request Dr. Madhavilata ma'am to speak a few words.
Very good morning, girls. Respected Principal Dr. K. Ramesh Reddy sir, esteemed faculty members and my dear students. Today we gather to celebrate Constitution Day of India, known as Samvidhan Divas, which is observed on November 26 each year. And for us, this is the second year we are celebrating in our college as mock parliament. Our constitution is just not a legal framework, it is a testament to our nation's unity, diversity and commitment to justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. Crafted under the visionary leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and other luminaries, it reflects the aspirations of millions of Indians. As students and future leaders, it is essential for us to understand and uphold the principles enshrined in this document. The Constitution guarantees us fundamental rights such as right to education, freedom of speech and equality before the law. Also, these rights and responsibilities to respect others, to uphold the dignity of every individual and to contribute positively to our society and nation. Let us take this inspiration from the vision of our founding fathers and commit ourselves to building an inclusive, progressive and harmonious India. Remember, Constitution is just not a document for the government, it is a guiding light for all the citizens. On this special day, let us pledge to understand, respect and uphold the values of our Constitution in every aspect of our lives. And now I congratulate and appreciate the efforts made by the faculty members Dr. Anuradha ma'am, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am and Durga Bhavani ma'am and Ramya ma'am in making this program happen, and this is the second time as I am telling you. This is what everyone should come through. You really understand what actually happens in the parliament, and this will really enlighten you with many things. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
It is better to do with this something. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am, for addressing us.
At least
Now, I request our esteemed Chief Guest, Srimati G. Pallavi ma'am, to address our crowd.
But then will it fit? No, I think so. We have to do it.
Good morning to everyone. Happy Constitution Day. Feeling very happy to be a part of this Constitution Day.
Om Shanti. The Prime Minister will introduce the new ministers of the Council of Ministers.
With your permission, it is my great privilege to introduce to the House the new members of the Union Council of Ministers. First, we have Ms. Anusha Anand, the Union Minister of Tribal Affairs. Ms. Indu, Union Minister of Railways. Ms. Sahini Chintapalli, Union Minister of Labour and Unemployment. Ms. Manya Roshita, Union Minister of Jal Shakti.
Now proceeding to the question hour, I call upon Ms. Sara, MP from Manipur.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to speak. Today, I would like to bring to the Parliament the issue of Manipur. Let me begin by telling you a little about Manipur. Manipur is a beautiful state of high hills and low valleys, filled with lush green forests and deep streams. It is geographically divided into two, as the hill and the valleys, both populated by beautiful civilizations of people. But when a normal person is to think about Manipur, this is not what comes to mind. When one thinks Manipur, one thinks of wild people parading women naked, houses being burned, no government or no order, no law in place. This is what people think is Manipur. But this is not the case, Madam Speaker. In the conflict that has escalated in Manipur between two ethnic minorities, the Meiteis and the Kukis, more so to blame than either of the two parties of the hills people, the people of the hills, the Kukis, or the people of the valleys, the Meiteis, are the government. The government has added fuel to the fire between their rift. It did not start on May 2024. It started in 1949 when Manipur became a part of India. Since then, we have implemented time and again policies which divide these people of Manipur, which have further increased the rift between these two ethnic minorities. Rather than trying to make amends between these two parties, the policies that our government has introduced have further divided the rift between these two parties. Therefore, for the state that Manipur is in now, we are equally to blame, more so than the people in Manipur now. You see, Madam Speaker, the Constitution of India provides for 6 fundamental rights to each and every citizen of India. But not one of these rights is being given to the people in Manipur. Right to constitutional remedies, right to freedom, right to equality, none of these is given to any of the people in Manipur. There is no order, there is no law, there is no order in Manipur right now. And who is to blame, Madam Speaker, if not the Ministry of Home Affairs, who have the very fact that the violence continues to fester unchecked indicates a lack of interest in Manipur or the lack of competence of the government, or both in the case. Is Manipur not one of the priorities of India? Are the daughters of the ruling party is also forms the state government in Manipur. The ruling party also forms the state government in Manipur. Yet, they have failed to maintain any sort of constitutional security. None of their constitutional rights are being guaranteed to the people in Manipur. When you ask, Speaker, how did the people of Manipur vote for such a party? You have to consider what they campaigned. When the Prime Minister and the Home Minister came to Manipur, they campaigned, Manipur ki betiyan meri betiyan hai. Now what happened? Are Manipur ki betiyan no longer their betiyan? Are Manipur ki betiyan not the betiyan of this desh? बेटी पढ़ाओ बेटी बचाओ के जबरदस्त नारे लगाते हैं हमारे होम मिनिस्टर। मणिपुर की बेटियों की तरफ पढ़ाना छोड़े इन्होंने तो नजर भी नहीं पलकी है। The government has completely disowned the people of Manipur. Their relation with the people, their relation with Indians starts and ends with elections. Election के वक्त आए आप हमारे रिश्तेदार हैं. झारखंड elections, झारखंड की बेटियां मेरी बेटियां हैं. महाराष्ट्र elections, महाराष्ट्र की बेटियां मेरी बेटियां हैं. जीत के बाद रिश्ता टूट
when
गया.
there are
तू
people
कौन मैं
and the
कौन?
faculty are watching in desktop, it is coming like this.
Ministry of Home
In
Affairs.
phone, it is
I
fine.
Okay.
am a speaker.
It's okay.
Madam Speaker,
This is
thank
what
you for
is-
giving me this
just the
opportunity.
camera
I
can
stand
cover
here
only
to
the-
address the issues raised by the opposite
No, it was a
of the
message
opposition.
given by one of the
Manipur is a
faculty.
state
Okay, I'll check
facing
now.
challenges that demand careful deliberation and active decisions. Let me first assure the nation that the government of India is fully committed to restoring peace, justice and stability in Manipur. However, this is not the time for opportunistic politics and shortcuts that undermine the constitution. The President's rule, which comes under the Article 365 of our Constitution, is not at all to be wielded at the whims of any party that seeks political gain. It is a constitutional article reserved for situations of complete failure of state machinery. To the opposition, I ask, do you believe in the Constitution or do you advocate for bypassing it whenever it suits your agenda? That was a rhetorical question. The Presidential Act can be implemented only when the state government refuses to cooperate with the central government. Last we checked, the state government was still very cooperative of all the steps we were taking in Manipur to restore their peace and stability. As for the 7th schedule, police and public order are subjects under the Constitution, and as such, the primary responsibility of prevention, detection, investigation, and prosecution of crimes, including crimes against SCs and STs. Under presidential rule, this power directly goes to the center, thereby disrupting the entire
There's
federal
nothing
system of the
here.
Constitution, which is very against
Camera
what the
cover
Constitution
only
stands
a
for.
little amount.
The opposition would have you believe that imposing president's rule is a magic wand. Let me assure you that it's not. Manipur's challenges are deeply rooted in ethnic complexities and decades of neglect under their watch. Let me remind the opposition what happened to Manipur when it was under
ఇది
your rule.
పట్టుకుంటావా in black and white. Your palms are
Manipur
sweating.
faced one of its
Your
bloodiest
palms are
times
sweating.
during
It's
your
going
watch
on.
under the 90s. Thousands of people were killed and millions were displaced. All you've tried to do is swipe it under the mat, and we are trying to cover it up so that we can ensure the stability of the people in Manipur.
Madam Speaker,
You can speak. You are requested to sit down so you can express your views.
Madam Speaker, they talk about atrocities committed in the past. What about atrocities happening right now? Women are being paraded naked. The ruling party has distanced themselves from the people of Manipur. They can distance themselves, but we will not distance ourselves. If they will not claim the daughters of Manipur, then they will be my daughters. The daughters of Manipur are my daughters. The mothers of Manipur are my mothers. The fathers of Manipur are my fathers.
Madam Speaker, the union government holds the state leadership accountable. Unlike the opposition, which seeks to topple elected governments for political gains, we work to strengthen the democratic institutions. We are actively guiding the state governments to address the crisis while ensuring that the people of Manipur retain their voice through the elected representatives.
Madam Speaker, if I may, over 200 people in Manipur have died. 4,300 houses have been burned. 800 temples have been destroyed. Over 60,000 people have been displaced. Is this their governance? Is this the governance they want?
Madam Speaker, these are nothing but false accusations. Let me remind everybody what happened to Manipur under their watch. I have the statistics with me. 300 people were killed and it was Congress government there. In 1993, 1,100 people died. In 1997, 400 people were killed. In 2005, 95 people died. And the list goes on until 2012. Is this what you're accusing our ruling parliament of? I think they're very baseless.
Madam Speaker, if I may, if the ruling party's monitoring and deployment are so effective, why do reports of violence and human rights violence continue to surface every single day? Is this incompetence? Are they turning a blind eye to all the accusations, all the past events, and not monitoring what is happening right now at this moment?
Madam Speaker, it is said that those who cannot do, they teach. And in the opposition case, they seem to have mastered this art. Let me remind this, just because there is a dark side, that doesn't mean there is no bright side. Yeah, the bright side is that we have been continuously working with the local communities and we have been deploying all the food and basic necessities. If they want to turn a blind eye on it, let them. But we will continue to progress and improve.
Madam, local committees, you say. I have clippings from just the last week. I'm not going before the last week. Just the last week, each and every one of them tells us how your government has absolutely failed. Your government claims to have met the tribal organizations, but they claim you had never sent even a peacemaker. No one has met them.
Who are the, Madam Speaker, if I may, what is that newspaper, Herald? Is that the scam you pulled off a decade back?
Madam Speaker, this is the Hindu newspaper. One of the newspapers which is not run by any of the newspapers.
How much did they take it for it? How much did you pay?
You would know, wouldn't you? Madam Speaker, they would know best. You should ask them. They have millions of newspapers under their control.
Madam Speaker, if we indeed have millions of newspapers under our control, that article wouldn't have been written and it wouldn't have been published.
Madam Speaker, the ruling party is claiming that there are only a million newspapers in India with all our numbers.
I might have to request the opposition to stop right now because we'll have to proceed to the other topics. Vaishnavi Pamba, MP from Punjab.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to speak about the critical issue that affects the very heart of our nation's agricultural community. The issue at hand, minimum support price, MSP, is not just a policy, it is a matter of survival for our farmers, their families, and the future of food security in India. Through you, Madam Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity to question the Minister of Agriculture, who often speaks of the government's commitment to the welfare of our farmers. While the government may claim to have made strides in ensuring the welfare of our farmers, we, on this side of the House, remain deeply concerned about the ground realities faced by our agricultural community. Let me remind you that the MSP was introduced as a safety net, a guarantee to ensure that our farmers do not suffer in the face of fluctuating market prices and unforeseen circumstances. Despite the government's assurances, farmers across the country are still selling their produce at lower prices, far below the MSP. The government continues to ignore the voices of the farmers in states like Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. Farmers are fighting both tooth and nail to get the right prices for their crops. Especially in states like Punjab, where they demand a legal grant for MSP and is observing, and the farmers have accused the centre for not taking any steps to accept their demands.
Madam Sir, respected Madam Sir,
I did not
Madam Speaker,
I did not complete it.
Speaker did not allow you to speak.
I did not complete it.
I request Madam Sir, I would like to
I request Madam Speaker to
I would
continue
like
my
to
speech.
speak clarity.
Madam Speaker,
I request Madam Speaker to continue my speech.
Let the opposition complete their point first and then you can answer.
The coverage, where this leads to situations where farmers are forced to sell their produce at lower prices in open market, which does not match the MSP. Next, middlemen and exploitation. These traders often exploit the farmers by offering lower prices than the MSP. Farmers are forced to rely on these middlemen due to lack of alternative channels to sell their produce at MSP. Limited legal framework for MSP. As I already mentioned, that the government did not even grant a legal grant for MSP in Punjab till now.
Madam Speaker,
I did not complete it.
Madam Speaker, can I proceed? Can I answer?
Let the opposition complete their
So farmers often face the challenge of having to negotiate with market forces and local traders instead of having the assurance of MSP as a legally blinding price. Because of a lot other reasons like these, the farmers are marching, protesting, and even sacrificing their lives in face of unfulfilled promises. In such situations like these, I can remember nothing but the lines of the province. गल लग के सीधी दे जात रोवे, गल लग के सीधी दे जात रोवे, बोलो बिच्छो ने बाधिया, ले आता के नसीबा को फटलोए, ले आता के नसीबा को फटलोए, तूड़ी बिच्छो कुछ जा गया. Also, I would remind that the MSP is about protect the provider, preserve the producer, secure the source, ensure the shores. A pledge to the plow, a promise to the pro.
Now we'll have to let the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare speak.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I guess the opposition friend is willing to listen to answer and she's asked the question now. So I would like to clarify the efforts and the measures undertaken by our government regarding the implementation of MSP and fair and timely procurement of the crops all across the states, including Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, and Haryana. Minimum support price, that is MSP, it is the price paid by the government to the farmer to actually protect them from the price fluctuation. And I would like to say that it is not for few farmers. We are trying to implement this so that most of the farmers, every farmer gets benefited from this. So let us look at the statistics. Over the years, the government has significantly increased the MSP rates for major crops to ensure fair compensation for farmers. For example, the wheat. Now, the MSP of wheat, the year 2024 to 25, it is 2,275. I would like to highlight that it has increased rupees 150 per quintal from the previous year, that is 2023 to 24. Same goes with the crop paddy. That is in the present year 2024 to 25. The MSP is 2,300, and I would like to highlight that it has increased rupees 170 per quintal from the previous year, that is 2023 to 25. We have been doing this. I would like to complete this, Madam Sir. We have done this to ensure a higher income for farmers. When it comes to procurement and the fairly and timely procurement of the crops, we have the FCI and the state agencies. Here the thing is not about increasing or decreasing the MSP. Here the matter is, even if we are increasing, despite of increasing the MSP, are the farmers really getting benefited by it? Actually, the question should be, are most of the farmers getting benefited by it? The APMCRs or mandis and also the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices are not considering the MPs. By these, the middlemen and wholesalers are getting benefited. Our government is trying to help farmers, are trying to help all farmers. If we are implementing this and the farmers are not getting benefited, if the other people, the large farmers, rich farmers are getting benefited, we need to take action, right? And secondly, I would like to inform that as the government presently has less procurement centers, we are working on that. Developing and increasing the procurement centers does not depend upon the one topic, it's ecologically, it depends upon the other factors too. We are working on that. If we increase the MSP rates and the food which is collected by the FCI, the price increases and the poor people, the FCI distributes this collection from the MSP and it distributes to the poor people. And if we increase
problems with the ruling
Yes.
party, you stated them and they've answered you. But if you have to address them, what solution in one line would you give them?
I would first tell them to hear the cries of the farmers who are still protesting and they are blaming the center. So first, I want to ask them, if they have taken all these good measures, then why are they still protesting?
Madam, ask for a solution, not for a question. She's asking you to hear them. That is the solution. No, I can't work it out.
If the farmers directly ask for the center, who am I to give the solution? The farmers can directly give the solution to the center, but they are not ready to listen to them.
You heard their cries. What is your solution for them? Do you have a solution, or are you just finger pointing as you always do?
Here my state farmers have a problem. So I wanted to ask the center what they are doing.
If you have any suggestions for us, please do tell us, because we
I have
are
a suggestion. So, are you saying if we don't give any suggestions, you would just not care?
the speaker, Madam Speaker, is asking you for your suggestions and your
Are you
suggestions.
saying the speaker's question is invalid?
Yes.
I've asked the opposition to offer a solution. Yes, you've suggested to hear the farmers' cries, but what is the solution? They will hear it. But what do you do after that?
Scrap the MSP.
Scrap-
Read
That is your solution?
Madam Speaker, if I may.
Yes.
Like you're saying, you're hearing the solution. As you know, the population of India is almost 2 billion. And us implementing it on one night is impossible. India is such a huge country. How do you expect me to do it in a day? We are trying our best. Since the beginning of our ruling, we have almost reduced as much as possible, and we will continue so and drive our country, especially 6th biggest economy of GDP, especially.
The opposition ruling does have a point. We must give them some time to execute their policies.
Madam Speaker, I just have a statement. If their implementations are so great, the ruling party was in power right last year. In February, this protest for MSP had happened. And the exact same protest has happened last week. What have they done? Asking the opposition for solutions are not all the problem right now. What have they done? They came to have taken measures. But what measures? If they had taken measures, why are the farmers still protesting? And if they've taken the measures after the February protest, why was there another protest last week? Is my
Madam Speaker, if I may, let me point out which states farmers are protesting exactly. Let me think. Only Punjab, Haryana,
Uttar Pradesh.
Really? Okay. Let me point this out. Why aren't other state farmers protesting? Let me give an answer to it. Because mostly in those states we can see the farmers are either middle wages farmers or they are either rich. So my point here is that when we introduced the bill, our motive was to give them the best price in the market. We don't want them to be limited to MSP. We want them to go out there and explore. There is a risk factor, yes, but what is life without risk? And let me complete this point. And you talk about MSPs, scrapping MSP. In fact, one of you said the point of this policy in particular is that they will be paid and there will not be any middleman meddling with the process so that they can get all the profits that they deserve without mandis, without going into mandis, without paying them rents for putting up their stall in the mandis, and also going direct to the businessman and getting the price that they deserve, that they are paying for the middleman, and that is what we preach for.
Order of the ruling party and opposition party, your views have been taken into consideration. Let us proceed to the next problem. Ms. Surovita Snitha, MP from Andhra Pradesh. I request you to keep your views crisp and to the point.
Thank you, Ms. Honorable Speaker. I rise to draw the attention of the Honorable Minister of Jal Shakti to a disheartening reality, which is the failure of the Namami Ganga mission. The main mission of this project is to ensure that no sewage water flows into the river. Yet, since the 9 years
the government has launched this mission. It has managed to install only treatment plants which can treat the sewage water only up to 20%. What about the rest? భగీరథుడు కొన్ని వేల సంవత్సరాలు తపస్సు చేసి గంగను భూమి మీద తీసుకొచ్చాడు. స్వచ్ఛతకు మారుగా ఉండే గంగను కలుషితం చేశారు. కలుషితమైన ఈ గంగను పావనం చేయడానికి మీ ప్రయత్నాలు భగీరథ ప్రయత్నాలైనా అధికార పక్షాన్ని అడగదలుచుకున్నాను అధ్యక్ష. Phase 1 of this grand mission delivered exactly rupees 4,535 crores. And for what? Results are so invisible that the Ganga's fish seem puzzled. Now in phase 2, another 1,209 crores and an additional fund of $150 million have been allocated. It seems pretty clear to me that the center nothing cleans the river better than throwing more money into it.
Ms. Suratha, I request you to take a seat. Minister of Jal Shakti.
Madam Speaker, thank you. First of all, I want to clear you that the Namami Gange mission is not a total failure. It is going in a success rate of...
It is a failure. We are not a total
It is a large project. It is a large project, so it needs some time. If you want the results overnight, you can't get it.
You've been talking about it since the 9 years. What about that?
Since 9 years, the thing that we have been not doing in decades was
Mr.
neglected and
Opposition,
much.
I request you to be respectful.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I want to clear you that it is not a small-scale project. It has been done from 2014. Even we knew, and there were 20 to 200 sewage treatments planted. And these, do you think they are of very less cost than the budget that you mentioned us? And also it involves decades of pollution, millions of people and the largest sewer system in India. Calling it mismanaged and misleading ignores the incredible scope of task. You are telling the process not visible, right? We have constructed over 200 sewage treatment plants, improved by water quality, several sensors, and enhanced public awareness. If the planning was so poor as what you told, would it have seen significant strides made so far? For instance, we have improved the water quality in key stretches like Varanasi, Haridwar and Adilabad. Cleaner gas and the proof that the plant is still working and it is working.
Explain to me. If you have cleaned, do not listen. They have a question. If you have cleaned,
Madam, I would like to continue. Okay. So moving on, I would like to highlight one more collaboration the Jal Shakti Ministry has had with the ISRO.
I would like to tell you that we will have one question and one answer. You have put forward one question and she is giving you the answer. If you have any problems related to that, please address them.
Okay, so from what? Okay.
Are you saying that the budget that they're putting in is too much, or are you saying that their work doesn't have quality?
From 2023 to 2024, they have to be doing something, and yet we didn't see any results.
There are results in few places like Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Haryana, Bihar.
rest of India. And explain.
It's a large project, so we need some time. These are the results that are watching.
As I asked previously, will you need thousands of years?
We are supposed to give some time for improvements.
And Ganga is all over the India. You don't see.
Only over five states. I think we have to correct the facts.
Listen, guys, we are running short of time. No more cross questions with this. If you want a 0 hour, then we'll finish it.
The Jal Shakti Ministry's collaboration with ISRO to launch the Bhuvan Ganga app, which was supposed to allow the citizens to participate in the Ganga cleanup process and also to monitor the pollution levels. So in an app which was supposed to outsource the accountability, it's ironic how the government itself has posted it. Have the developers forgotten the login credentials, or is it the Ganga itself which is struggling to get a signal?
Madam Speaker, if I may, it is unfortunate that the opposition uses this esteemed House's party time to make baseless allegations against us. This is factless foundation against us, and it's actually unfortunate that you waste time on this.
supposed to have one question. We've been having cross questioning for a very long time. Now I call upon Ms. Gayatri, MP from Telangana. I request Ms. Gayatri to put forward one problem.
And one answer. No more cross questions.
Yes, one problem and one answer. The biggest problem in your list of problems, please put it forward.
Thank you, Ms. Honorable Speaker, for this wonderful opportunity. Today, through you, I would like to pose a question to the Minister of Tribal Affairs, not just on the behalf of my party, but on the behalf of every single Adivasi out there who had their livelihood, their culture, and their dignity stolen away from them under the pretense of wildlife preservation. Project Tiger was launched in 1973 and it has resulted in tens of thousands of Adivasis being relocated from their homes and from their lands. At least 5,50,000 scheduled tribes and other forest dwellers have been identified for involuntary relocation by Project Tiger to create areas for the purposes of tiger conservation. And this has come as a surprise to you. But in the 55 tiger reserves in the entire nation, 5 of the tiger reserves do not have a single tiger in them. And to create the areas of these 5 tiger reserves, 5,670 tribal families were thrown away from their lands. And these involuntary relocations do not happen in a way that is respectful to these tribal people. These people have...
Ms. Gayatri, I request you to sit down. One question.
So, the Comptroller and Auditor General of India found uncontrolled commercial and ecotourism activities such as establishing petrol pumps, rest houses being run on a commercial basis by forest departments and tourist departments, staff colonies, residential quarters, high-tension electric lines that are causing deaths of tigers by electrocution, huge number of vehicles being allowed against ceiling imports, resort construction, hotel construction, roads construction in core areas of tiger reserves despite prohibition. And if you take into account the Forest Amendment Act
Ms. Gayatri,
2023,
respectfully, please make it crisp and to the point.
okay, well, I'm coming to the point. 2023, this allows authorities to use forest land for commercial and public infrastructure purposes. This asks
Please be
me...
seated. Please be seated. Ministry of Tribal Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I would like to ask you, where did you pull these statistics from? From WhatsApp University?
Minister of Tribal Affairs. We do not want any cross-questioning. You will pose with an answer and we expect. You will pose with a question and we expect an answer.
Yes.
WhatsApp University only accepts ruling party members.
I did ask for some Chacha ke forwarded messages, okay? So if you check it, if you look at the statistics, you will see that in 1973 when the Project Tiger was established, there were only 1,400 tigers, but in today's time there are around 4,000 tigers.
Nobody is denying the
Then how do you say that?
I am saying, what about the tribals who are being thrown away from their land?
What
They
is
are not giving
Please let me speak right now.
Did you forget even the tribal affairs?
Ms. Sara.
Why do you care so much about tribals
Miss
more than
Sara.
the tribal people?
Is this the same logic you use for yourself? We are running the country, okay? We are caring about each and every person, not
Except
just
for
the
the
people
tribal
of
people who you
Not
want
just
to
the people.
compensate.
Stop cross answering me, please. I'm trying to give you the answer you need. See, we not only care about the people of nation, but
Minister
also
of Tribal Affairs. Minister of Tribal Affairs. You are expected an answer. And Ms. Gayatri, do not cross-question. You have an answer. What about the tribal people? Have you taken any actions to protect them? Yes or no?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Around 2006, we established the Forest Rights Act, which recognizes to protect every indigenous community living around. And not just only that, let us not forget a union budget of 300 crores has been devised to provide monetary
Minister of Tribal
compensation.
Affairs, I got your answer.
And is this money reaching the tribal people or is it being swallowed up somewhere?
Ms. Gayatri, we will now have to proceed. I have already instructed no cross-questioning. Ms. Anakha, MP from Gujarat.
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. Through you, I want to address this question to the Minister of Finance. I rise as the voice of our farmers, our Annadatas, betrayed by the government's broken promises. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana claimed to be a lifeline. It has turned into a profit scheme for insurers. 7,500 crore rupees remain unpaid, while farmers sink deeper and deeper into debts. सबका साथ सबका विकास, सबका साथ छोड़ा, सिर्फ कांग्रेस का विकास किया, किसान का क्या?
Madam Speaker, if I may, you've been requested to sit down. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana has demonstrated significant success, with claims over 1.64 lakh crores settled against a premium of just 32,000 crore paid by farmers. The payout ratio exceeds 5 times. Let's reflect the government's commitment to supporting farmers against natural calamities. Regarding the pending claims, it is essential to note that the delays often occur due to the state governments not releasing their share of premium subsidies on time or disputes among the insurance companies and states. To address this, the central government has already decoupled its share of subsidies from the state contributions, enabling faster distribution of funds. Furthermore, insurance companies are now liable for 12% of delays, of penalty for delays, which will be directly credited into the farmers' accounts.
How has 40,000 crores of rupees reached the influencers?
Madam Speaker, I think
Even before,
Madam Speaker, it was not
Minister of Finance, we will have to stop it here as we have to proceed to the next business. I'd like to apologize to the other people who could not put forward their views today. Now the House will take up the next business. The Deputy Speaker will be welcoming the foreign delegates, Speaker of the Parliament of Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan and UK, and their delegation who are on a visit to India as a honour.
On behalf of the honorable members of the House, I have a great pleasure in welcoming our esteemed foreign delegates who have joined us to represent diverse nations, sharing their unique perspectives and ideas. First, we have to welcome Ms. Kirtana, who will be representing the United Kingdom. Your presence here today adds a global dimensions. Next, we have Ms. Rishika representing Russia and Neelima representing Bangladesh. Your participation reflects the spirit of collaboration and cultural exchange. Finally, we extend our warm greetings to Ms. Harini representing Nepal. We eagerly anticipate your valuable contributions. I once again welcome to all our foreign delegates and thank you for gracing us with your presence. Your involvement not only enriches the discussions but also strengthens and bridges the understanding across the cultures. Let the proceedings begin. Honorable members, we now have a message from the Upper House. Secretary General, please.
I am to inform the House that the Honorable Upper House has passed 3 bills, 2 government resolutions and sent 1 bill back to the lower house for reconsideration. Thank you.
Ms. Shreya Prasad, MP from Uttar Pradesh. Before you put forward your views, I would like to tell you, please keep it short and crisp to the point. It has to be one sentence long.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise on behalf of my party to address an issue that has significant implications for our nation's foreign policy and global reputation. In recent months, the relationship between India and Canada are under serious strain now. Allegations of Khalistani separatist activities in Canada which threaten India's sovereignty have deeply concerned us. In turn, Canada has accused India of interfering in its internal matters. There are expulsion of diplomats, suspension of visa services, and halt in trade talks, all of which affects the lives of millions of people, including the Indians who stay in Canada. My question is this: what actions will the government take to protect Indians living in Canada? And how will the government rebuild trust between India and Canada?
I request you to sit down. Ministry of External Affairs.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. India remains committed to fostering strong bilateral relations with Canada based on mutual respect and shared democratic values. However, it is essential to ensure that our national security and sovereignty are not compromised in the process. India has maintained open channels of communication with Canada to address misunderstandings and allegations through dialogue. We have called for concrete evidence to support claims made by the Canadian government, reiterating our willingness to have a transparent and evidence-based dialogue manner conversation. Protecting our diplomatic missions in Canada is of utmost importance. India has issued formal notices under the Vienna Convention urging Canada to uphold its obligations to ensure the safety of our diplomats and premises. We are closely monitoring the activities of extremist groups operating overseas and have raised concerns with the Canadian government and harboring individuals who propagate violence against India. India values the significant contributions made by the Indian diaspora in Canada. We are encouraging community and leaders and organizations to act as bridges between the two nations, fostering cultural and economic relations.
Minister of External Affairs. Opposition party, you have anything to say?
Madam Speaker, what about the loss of money due to the halt in trade talks?
Madam Speaker, if I may.
You have 30 seconds to make.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. They're talking about the money, but what about the people living in Canada for their education, for their masters, or for their jobs, and what about the people? If you think about money, then what about the people? Thank you. Our primary concern are the futures and the Indians who are living in Canada.
Madam Speaker, that was not what I asked. I asked about the money, or I asked about the loss in money.
And they said that if we only care about the money, what about the students who study here?
Madam Speaker, if I may, let me reiterate for those who do not understand, money is secondary. The lives of all the Indian students and workers who live there, that is our priority. We're willing to spend more to save lives because that's what the ruling party does. Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Speaker, if I may, can I?
Yes, you have 30 seconds.
If diplomacy is so effective, why is the Indian diaspora still facing harassment even after their measures, whatever they claim to have taken? Why are they still facing harassment?
The Indian government is constantly in touch with their Canadian counterparts, Madam Speaker, and to address the question that they've asked, controlling and taking care of the Canadian citizens living there relies a lot of that responsibility relies on the Canadian government, which has been constantly failing in taking care of it. Indian government is in constant contact with its diplomats and also with its counterparts tackling this conversation.
Are you going to complain about the Canadian government now?
I think it's now
Why is there still racist harassment even after those measures?
We're asking, you're not answering. Madam Speaker,
You're repeating it, I believe I'm sorry.
I believe Madam Speaker has really already stated that there's no cross questioning happening in
What a way to escape.
Ms. Naina, MP from Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Millions of Indians, they continue to suffer due to flawed urban development under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and Smart Cities mission. The promise for housing of all by 2024 has failed, leaving urban poor, homeless and subjected to forced evictions. The smart cities only cater to elites, neglecting basic needs like water and sanitation for millions. Urban projects.
Ms. Zainab, please keep it to the point. There are multiple problems, I understand, but generalize it.
So my question would be, why has the promise of housing of all has failed by 2024, and how could you reduce urban congestion while overcrowding cities like Mumbai and Bangalore? Housing delayed, hopes betrayed.
Madam Speaker, thank you for allowing me to address Ms. Zaina's concerns. Urban congestion and overcrowding are indeed complex challenges which our government is taking them head on with strategic and transformative measures. As Ms. Zaina has mentioned about the Smart Cities mission, our mission was to, we have already, we have patented, we have allotted 7,202
You don't know what you did?
crores and we
Members of opposition, please calm down.
So, according to the mission, we have established about 90% of it has been successful. I don't know if you do not know the meaning of failure, but 90% of the mission has been successfully established. About the water,
Ms. Sara, please calm down.
about the water and resource allocation you have speak about, we have the OPO scheme which we have already implemented. I don't know if you have done your research, but yeah.
The opposition has asked a question and the ruling has given an answer. If you have a question related to that answer, then you may proceed to ask it. If it's about insulting them in any way, don't ask it.
It's about how.
Please put it forward. Please put it forward.
Madam Speaker, the ruling party has claimed to subdue around 90% of their mission. But 2023's parliamentary committee's report claims that only 20% of that has been established. What is the ruling party's answer to that? Why are they making false claims that 90% has been executed?
It's November of 2024. Please do not speak about the last year right now.
The ruling party does have a point, so we will have to proceed to the next one. Ms. Neeta Reddy, MP from Madhya Pradesh. I request your question to be to the point and crisp.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My question is, I'm standing here to get an answer for all those who have not slept for days preparing for JEE Mains exam. Madam Speaker, on an average, it takes 730 days to prepare for JEE exam. And out of lakhs, only thousands get selected into IITs. Many people commit suicide because of not getting into IITs. Many people dream to get settled in their life with a good package. Getting into IITs is people's dream and their parent dreams as well. In return to this, what we get is 38% of students from IIT across 23 campuses are still unemployed, which is a great significant increase from the previous year. After preparing for years, this is what students get. If India is developing in their IT sector, why are many people still unemployed? ये कौन सी सरकार है जहाँ की देश की GDP बढ़ रही है, उसके साथ साथ बेरोजगारी भी बढ़ रही है?
Ms. Neeta, I request you to sit down. Does the ruling party have an answer to that?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Beginning with JEE Mains is an exam for all the students, and Almost more than 12 lakhs write it, and it depends on the students' IQ level, their hard work, their studies.
That's not the point. If you never get the point, you're making a point. Continue.
The first question they asked about was the JEE exam, and I would like to point it out. Thank you. And as you see, it is about a person's education, and it depends on the student's level of their IQ and study that they get into the IIT. As far as possible, we have increased the number of IITs. Almost every state has its own IIT and NIT respectively, triple ITs depending. Not only that, each state and constitution and the union territories have its own state colleges, private universities, etc. all around the world, and I believe that a lot of students have here. Coming over to the unemployment you're talking about, according to the periodic labor force survey last year, the most recent survey, it is shown that the labor force participation rate from 57.7 from 2017 increased to 60.8 in 2022 in rural areas. The next part is
Minister of Youth Affairs, I'm trying to tell that you've done everything in your power to protect students.
I believe I'm answering how much education they have said is not available, but they have studied, and we are providing the jobs, and I'm telling you the statistics of how much of the job employment rates have increased. And
the point is that the job employment rates have increased.
Yes, and I would like to mention the statistical rate of the unemployment they've talked about. It says it reduced from 4.1 to 3.2, and as you see, India is a big population, so even 1% matters. Coming over, we have almost 371 million youth in India, and by 2036, we are expecting almost 65% of all of these youth to get employed. Coming over to the schemes that we have
Minister of Youth Affairs, I got your point. We don't need the statistics at this time. We just need your claim that you have done things. Now I'd like to ask the opposition, do you have anything to say against that? They say they've tried their best. Do you have any suggestions despite their efforts?
Madam Speaker, I would like to also announce the schemes that our ruling party has implemented over the years. The US
All that has been understood, but the opposition is asking.
If you want, yeah, do you have any questions?
Madam Speaker, my question is, what about those 38% of students who are still unemployed? Are they doing any skill development programs for them?
We have few programs. If you want, I can list it out. The first and foremost is Skill India Development, which is also digital. That has almost 30 lakh youth are benefited by it, and almost 50 lakh jobs are achieved by the youth because of the Skill India program. Coming over, the newest one is the Semicon 2024. If you know, it is for both the electronics as well as the IT industry, and we are expecting more than 1 million jobs to be. We have other ones, specially for the youth, which is the Yuva program. We have the PM internship offers, the Rozgar Mela, and so more, like Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Indira Gandhi Urban Employment Guarantee Act. Our proposals include 20 lakh youth, almost 5,000 mostly allowance for internships for all those unemployed students that you have talked about. We not only have just Indian, we have special focus on tribal students, fostering AI-based innovations. Also, internships are not just in Indian, we are also not nationality, we are also cooperating with other countries and making it globally. Reports from
Minister of Youth Affairs, we've understood that you did everything in your power, and we are taking your side in this one. The opposition needs to understand that 100% of what you can't completely avoid problems. You do get problems, and they are continuing to protect the students. Sorry?
They're making false claims, Madam Speaker.
Excuse me, these are the reports which we submitted.
What is the real statistics? You have them?
They've talked about Skill India. Even after implementing Skill India, the unemployment rate is still at 28%. That's the highest in decades. Why did they claim that the unemployment rate is at 4%? It's at 28%.
also seen, we have said by 2031 it will reduce to 25, and by 36 it's reducing to 23%. And that is a significant amount with with the way students are also going abroad for their masters. It's not just one student or two, it is 300 plus million youth you're talking about. And not everyone, it's not like it's in our hands to give free away jobs. It also depends on the private companies which are coming over and selecting the students. We are trying our best by giving all sorts of programs like Skill India and Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana and so many other opportunities for all these students. Madam Speaker, I would like to only mention one thing. It's not in the hands of government.
You are requested you to conclude your argument.
I would like to conclude by saying it's not just depending on the government, it depends on the students' hard work and their thriving and their belief if they want the job or not. I have seen many students who have not accepted just because they are getting less money. That is their wish. We are providing whatever we can and we will continue and increase the budget. We have already increased it by 4 crores. It is not that simple for us. We will do our best and at the end it is in the students' hands that they want the job or not. Thank you.
Honorable members of the House, we will now be proceeding to the next session, legislative business. Item 110, the Artificial Intelligence Regulation and Promotion Bill 2024.
Honorable Speaker, with advancements unfolded at an unprecedented pace, we stand at the forefront of technological reformation. As one of the fastest developing nations in the world, India must strike a balance between fostering innovation and public welfare. Let me bring up an incident of recent times. In Korea, the scandal of the Burning Sun case and the Enthrones, people have violated AI and indefinitely embarrassed students, women and children as well without keeping any ethical standards in mind. With that being said, I would like to encourage the Honorable IT and Electronics Minister to propose a bill about the same to ensure progress that aligns with our values like transparency, inclusivity and accountability. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, if you may, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Artificial Intelligence Regulation and Promotion Bill 2024.
Motion moved. The question is that the leave be granted to the Minister for Electronics and IT to introduce the Artificial Intelligence Regulation and Promotion Bill 2024. Those in favor will say aye, those against will say no. Aye! You are requested to say the word once. No! I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it, ayes have it. The leave is granted, the Minister may now introduce the bill.
I introduce a bill. A bill to regulate, strengthen and promote AI in India and for matters connected therewith and incidental thereto. Clause 1. The government shall regulate the creation and usage of harmful deepfake and other AIs. Harmful deepfakes are defined as those that could distress or damage to an individual or group, such as through defamation, harassment, incitement to violence, proliferation of misinformation, disinformation and disharmonizing and sedition content. Clause 2. The government shall establish criminal penalties for violations of deepfake AI provisions that include other AIs governed on the basis of deepfake AI provisions. These penalties should be proportionate to the severity of violation and should be designed to deter future violations.
Clause 3. The government shall require companies to make disclosure of deep fakes or any AI creation. This disclosure could take the form of a label or a watermark on the creation itself, or it could be made through a public disclosure registry. Clause 4. The government shall make it mandatory for companies to disclose their objectives in the public domain. Clause 5. The government shall establish a national authority on AI and other allied technologies. This body will be responsible for regulating and monitoring the use of AI and other allied technologies. Intelligence Regulation and Promotion Bill 2024 is integral for moving forward. The proliferation of misinformation and disinformation that fosters
disharmonizing and seditious content, ambushes us with chaos. As we embrace this technological future, let us recall the words of our revered leader Mahatma Gandhi. The future depends on what you do in the present.
Madam Speaker, I'd like to move that the bill be taken into consideration.
The motion is that the Artificial Intelligence Regulation and Promotion Bill 2024 be taken into consideration. Start the discussion.
Madam Speaker, thank you for granting me the opportunity to address the House on a matter that is very urgent. AI deepfakes represent a double-edged sword, a tool of innovation but also a weapon of chaos. While the intent to regulate this technology is commendable, the bill in its current form lacks clarity and precision. The opposition party has some serious concerns with the clauses present, and we request you, Madam Speaker, to allow us with an opportunity to ensure transparency and to protect the fundamental rights of our citizens.
Done.
Madam Speaker, if I may.
Please keep it short and crisp.
The objective of this criticism to draft this bill, you see, this bill is made to implicate. It serves, to criminalize people. People can be put into jail as a result of this bill. But this bill, the first clause, completely fails to define what deepfakes and harmful deepfakes, other AIs, they don't define anything. It's completely vague. It's like a stick without a carrot.
Madam Speaker, if I may. First of all, like she said, it's a double-edged sword. Second of all, if you heard me speaking, I said that this is something that we must strike a balance in. Like I said, every coin has two sides to it. While it has its pros, it has its cons as well. And what we want to do as the ruling party is maintain a balance where we draw a clear-cut line. And like you said, how do we need to define what a harmful deepfake AI is, huh? Do they not realize that they are grown adults and not nursery to realize that, hey, that's a human being, put in a wrong situation. That's wrong. That has to be corrected. Yes, if they are doing such things, yes, they will be criminalized. Yes, they'll go into jail. Then is when can we expect change and transformation, Madam Speaker?
We will have to take the side of the ruling party for this one.
Madam Speaker, this vague definition provides arguments.
How do you say that it's vague? Can you read the clause out for me?
Yes, see, it says other AIs. First of all, what is other AIs? And second of all, harmful deepfakes are defined. So there is this weird definition, which if some case went to court, it could go to court and they could argue that this is not harmful. So really harmful, very... Yeah, how will the judiciary carry out the penalty? How will they define it? It can be argued. Something that is really harmful can also be...
In the first clause, it also says that could cause distress or damage to an individual or group.
Yes, this opens room for argument. Something which is really harmful and detrimental can be just shot down as it is not. It does not define a particular framework for the...
Like there is argument to every aspect of every situation in life. You might argue with me that you deserve this position, but clearly the democracy argues with you. Well, here, right? So, when we're on spot, when the jurisdiction, the jury...
Please be respectful.
Can I just finish my statement? The jurisdiction, unlike the rest of us who are unqualified, will have their set of rules and procedures, which, if opposition wants to learn, can do as well as all in the constitution.
Which are supposed
We are not entitled to remind you of them, but they will have their own sets of procedures and rules according to which judgment will be passed. That's why we have the Supreme Courts, that's why we have the High Courts, and we have personnel for that. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I want to draw your attention to the Nirbhaya Act. It is an act which clearly states each and every offence. Every little thing, every offence is outlined. Like what is qualified as this offence, what is qualified as harassment, what is qualified as stalking. There is a line-by-line directions and line-by-line punishment in the Nirbhaya Act. Refer to that act and refer back to this act. What is there in this act? टाइम में कुछ भी नहीं है इसमें.
Madam Speaker, just to answer that question, firstly, Nirbhaya case is nowhere related to the bill. And secondly, the most important point, this bill that we have been passed would be useful in many ways. For example, in the recent times, we see an actress being subjected to a deepfake video, which caused a lot of distress. And having such bills would prevent such things.
Madam, instead of having such a bill, they could simply amend it to a Women's Protection Act. Why have a separate bill? Are you with me? What is the need for a separate bill?
So to word you out, to document for you so that you can understand, Madam Speaker, let me tell them. So not only about women's deepfake, there are a lot of videos which can be manipulated. If you have seen during AP elections, there was this video of a politician speaking something which she did not, and it was manipulated, and it was running wild on WhatsApp University. So not only about women's welfare or women's self, we are going to also cut the potential acts where it can harm the society and integrity of the country. We are not only talking about a woman being objectified here. There might be cases of false videos running around. They might be showing about riots happening which is not happening in gender, terrorism videos or something which can inspire you to do something similar. So not only to answer your question, yes, maybe we have to redraft the bill so that you can understand, and we do have to include clause by clause when we will.
I request the Minister to reply. The discussion is over. Prime Minister.
To conclude all of this, Madam Speaker, we all understand the utmost importance of passing this bill. Like my fellow minister has said, it's not just about women, it's about the entire country that can be used. AI is a weapon in both harmful and advantageous as well. So that's why, let me reiterate, this is all about a balance, and we are committed to providing that.
Madam Speaker, if I may, in clause 5, it mentions the usage of Aadhaar with face recognition to log in and use the technology. Given the history of data breaches in systems like Aadhaar, what guarantees can the ruling party provide that sensitive data will not be misused or leaked?
Does the ruling party have anything to say?
In October 2023,
How many party has been
Let the ruling party speak, please.
So, if you're talking about clause 5, to deal with it, to deal with this problem, there is a new regulation body especially for AI. That is the reason we are passing this bill, to take care of all the problems regarding AI. And regarding Aadhaar and face, we are
Ms.
making
Sara,
sure.
no cross-questioning. Please
Let
keep
her
calm.
finish, please. Through Aadhaar and all the given clauses, we are making sure the bill will make sure to other all the protections and everything that come under this bill.
Madam Speaker, if I may, if the government only couldn't handle such breaches from happening, how can we trust you giving this leadership to another organization to do this?
They are.
This will be the last question.
There is another a regulating body especially for this problem that they are talking about, cyber security personnel. If you have any problems, you can contact that regulating body to deal with this problem.
Belongs to the government, by the way.
Madam Speaker, if I may, all of this, what you're saying about the regulation and all, even if we're reading it or not, it still belongs to government. We are passing the bill because we want to say the government is going to protect you in the future, your Aadhaar, your personals, your passwords, you trust us, and that's why we're making this bill, so it'll be more safer for you and you wouldn't have further issues. Anything, anyway, we want to clarify, AI is a double-edged sword, so we are trying our best to reduce all other negatives. All of this will be controlled by government, even if we are trying to do a collaboration with private. End of the day, government only will take care, and we will see no other people will do harm for our country. Thank you.
Sorry. Members, now the House will take the clause-wise consideration of the bill. Please be seated. The bill has 5 clauses. The question is that clause 1 to 3 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor will say aye. Those against will say no. I think the ayes have it. Ayes have it. Clause 1 to 3 do stand part of the bill. Now the question is that clauses 4 to 5 do stand part of the bill. There are 2 amendments to these clauses. Those in favor will say aye. Those against will say no. I think the ayes have it. Now we'll proceed to the second bill. Item number 111. The Women's Safety. Medicine Council. Now we have the 0 hour and the members are requested to keep the time constraints in mind. Please keep the time constraints in mind. I repeat again, please keep the time constraints in mind.
మీ ద్వారా అధికార పార్టీని నేను అడగదలుచుకున్న ప్రశ్న, ప్రభుత్వ ప్రాజెక్టులన్నీ కేవలం అదానికి ఇవ్వడానికి గల కారణాలు ఏంటి? ఇది మిత్రపక్ష వ్యాపారం కాదా? ఇది నచ్చితే మన దేశ ప్రధానమంత్రి గారి విదేశీ పర్యటనలు మన దేశ అభివృద్ధి కోసమా, అదాని ఒప్పందాల కోసమా? ఎందుకంటే శ్రీలంకలోని విండ్ పవర్ ప్లాంట్, భూటాన్లోని హైడ్రో పవర్ ప్లాంట్, ఆస్ట్రేలియాలోని కోల్ మైనింగ్ ప్లాంట్, సౌత్ కొరియాలోని స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ అదానికి ఇవ్వడానికి గల కారణాలు ఏంటి?
One minute. Seated, your time is up. One minute. I repeat, you violated the time constraints already. Please be seated. Does the ruling party have anything to say?
Yes, we do, Madam Speaker. I admire the opposition's confidence in proposing solution without understanding the problem. It takes special kind of skill to offer answers to questions those who did not ask. So let me say it by, do you need quality or quantity? Just because a businessman is getting multiple businesses, it doesn't mean he's short of his quality. Just because he is giving us at a better price and a better rate and better, yeah. Non-monopoly, just he is better. He is better than others.
ఈ రోజు ఈ ప్రభుత్వం చెప్పే మాటలు ఎలా ఉన్నాయంటే, ప్రజలు పొట్టగొట్టే మా ఆటతో అదాని
He has given employment to our country just because he is growing rich.
ప్రజలు పొట్టగొట్టే అదానిని కాపాడే మాటలు ఉన్నాయి ఈ ప్రభుత్వం.
Just like any other business tenders, this is following a government procedure where he is winning the tender. And do you think the government processes are vague? They are scrutinized and he is winning the tender, so he is getting the
Members
project.
of the House, there is a certain time constraint and we cannot afford to prolong this conversation.
అదానికి మిత్రుడైన దేశ ప్రజలకు శత్రువైన ఈ ప్రభుత్వానికి సమాధానం చెప్పే సమయం దగ్గర పడింది.
Madam Speaker, let me begin.
Last sentence, there will be no
Last sentence. Let me humbly remind the rest of the members here. We partner with not just Adani, we have partnered with multiple other businessmen, including the Tata Group and the Birla Group. Your calls are of our esteemed assembly here. You're not allowed to speak. Please let me finish. Thank you. And Madam Speaker,
I request the Prime Minister to be respectful.
Madam Speaker, she overruled your authority. You're not allowed to speak.
yes, because the Madam Speaker, I don't believe you gave her the time to speak. Did you? Ma'am, can I please finish my statement since you said time restraint? Let me finish it. I respect your opinion.
Time constraint is already over.
All right, let me
have
just
to
say.
proceed to the next one.
Okay, ma'am. I respect.
Ms. Nikita, MP from Karnataka.
Ms. Rakshita would like to go before. Is that permitted?
Good morning to the esteemed House. I'd like to express my gratitude to you, Madam Speaker. Thank you for providing me with this opportunity.
You have one question to ask.
Can I put forward some statistics so that it's clear?
Summarize the statistic.
I'll put
Summarize the statistic.
Yeah, okay. So, with a heavy heart, I'll bring up July 15, 2020. 20 soldiers, including a commanding officer, have lost their lives due to incursion from China. It was completely unprovoked. All this happened where our so-called ruling party was lying. Repeat, lying about the fact that there was an attack at all. Madam Speaker, I would there they failed as leaders and we failed as a country. I would also like to bring up, you know where else they failed? I'm so sorry, like, just a minute. You know where else they failed? At home. 2,623 days, Madam Speaker. I repeat, 2,623 days. That's how long it took for the government to execute 4 monsters who brutally raped and murdered a 23-year-old woman. And 495 days to imprison 4 people who brutally raped an 8-year-old. I repeat, Madam Speaker, imprison, not execute. Is this the society we want to be living in? And I'd like to conclude by saying, is this really the time that we should be focusing on developing the country using artificial intelligence technology when we can't keep the citizens of our country safe? Is this really the time to be focusing on developing the country whereas people in the country cannot stay safe without being scared of being attacked, assaulted, raped? You cannot move out without being scared, Madam Speaker. I would like an answer from the leaders. Thank you.
The ruling party.
Madam Speaker, if I may. So your first concern was about China's attack on India, if I'm not wrong. So do you think that we are answerable for China's acts in India? Do you think we should answer? And yes, it is something we overlooked. It is a huge loss for us and we are deeply regretting that we lost 20 of the esteemed soldiers. But let me remind you that all the communal riots or all the attacks that has been happening in our rule have decreased by 15%. When you were in the ruling, let me be clear, there were around 1,000 to 1,100 communal riots or attacks happening throughout the nation, but now it has come down to 400 to 500. It's not zero, yes, we agree, but it is a huge improvement. And coming to your second question, what it was that we took 6,000 days, do you think this is a house of legislature or judiciary? Do you think
Are you still not the government?
We are government, but we are not the judiciary.
Ms. Rakshita, everybody will get a chance to ask one question. They will get to stand up once and speak once. Please be seated.
And about the schemes, their last question was what we are doing that we cannot live in this country without being feared or being assaulted or being raped. Let me be clear, we government party, we the ruling party were the ones to introduce all the laws about safety measures in working areas, and also we are the ones who introduced Nirbhaya Acts, and we are the ones who are continuing to safeguard our women and our children.
I'm so sorry, I just have one question. Please allow me for this. Just a question.
We are not allowed.
I just want one question. I'm so sorry, I just need one question. After the Nirbhaya Act was introduced, according to 2024 reports, 88 rape cases have been happening per day. If my math is right, that adds up to 32,000 rapes every year after Nirbhaya was introduced. So, how would they like to answer?
Your question has been taken into consideration. You will not be allowed to ask any more questions. The ruling party.
Madam Speaker, I'm going to keep it short. Like the Defense Minister just said, we have been implementing change and it is a path of transformation. India is growing from an underdeveloped to one of the most developed countries in the world. It has the fastest growing rate ever. So like I said, like she said, like we all agree that yes, there are rapes every day. Yes, there are problems every day. And we regret how we're facing that. But as the government, we're earnestly trying to make the change. Earnestly traversing down the path of transformation. Nirbhaya Act, all these acts, all that have been in the past few years, they have been introduced and we are accomplishing it. Sorry, but we cannot do it overnight.
Now I call upon Ms. Nikita MP from Karnataka. Ms. Nikita, let me make you aware of this. You are allowed to stand this one time and you can ask one question and you are not allowed to cross question.
May I use a statistic?
Sure.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Speaker. Let's start with the Pegasus spyware scandal. This government stands accused of deploying military-grade Pegasus spyware on its own citizens. Journalists, activists, and even opposition leaders were reportedly targeted not for national security but to silence dissent. So my question to the ruling party is, can we trust a government that has repeatedly abused technology for political gains to regulate something as powerful as artificial intelligence?
Madam Speaker, if I may, you talk about Pegasus spyware. What are you afraid of? Hiding something?
Why was it implemented? Why was it?
It was implemented throughout the nation, throughout the world, Madam Speaker.
You are not allowed to cross question each other. You have been posed with a question, directly answer that question.
Yes, ma'am. And to answer her question, it was imposed throughout the world. Not only our nation, but many other nations were part of its scrutiny. So, if opposition leaders they are feeling as if they are targeted, and I'm regretted to tell them that you're just part of it. You are not above the law. We as ruling party, we would like to keep our nation safe, and even our own minister.
This one time, and please put forward your question.
Yeah, sure. So I wanted to speak about the scheme, electoral bond scheme. ఈ స్కీమ్ అనేది పొలిటికల్ ఫండింగ్ ని క్లీన్ చేయాలి అనే ఇంటెన్షన్ తో పెట్టబడని చెప్పారు కదా. But here the whole opposite thing is happening. See, through you, Madam Speaker, I wanted to ask the ruling party, what measures is the government taking to ensure that electoral bond scheme does not lead to corruption and misuse? ఈ స్కీమ్ నిజంగా ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ గురించి అయితే ఎందుకు డోనర్స్ ని దాస్తున్నారు? అండ్ ఆల్సో వ్యాపారాలు, ప్రైవేట్ corruptions and corporations దగ్గర నుండి ట్రాన్స్పరెన్సీ కోరే ఈ గవర్నమెంట్, why they are not justifying the transparency and accountability to the public?
Madam Speaker, if I may, మీరు మాట్లాడారు ఎలక్టోరల్ బాండ్స్ గురించి. మీకు ఏం చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నానంటే, ఈ లా, ఈ రెగ్యులేషన్ వచ్చేదానికంటే ముందు ఏం జరిగేది, బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్స్ ఇంకా ఆల్ ద కంపెనీస్ యూస్ టు పే దెమ్ బ్యాక్, యూస్ టు పే దెమ్ విచ్ వాస్ అన్రెగ్యులేటెడ్.
Madam Speaker, can I? It seems that the ruling party only consists of the defense minister, whereas this
You have anything to say?
Madam Speaker, yes, I do have something to say, so please listen to me. We are not entitled to the whims of the opposition. We are entitled to answer whoever wants to answer. And this is a zero hour, let me remind all of you. And if the defense wants to speak, the defense will speak. You do not have the right to take it away from them. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, I am from the Ministry from Youth Affairs and Sports. Though it is not directly connected to me, I believe I can still answer. See, depending on what you said, it depends on the future generation, especially because they will be the next leaders of the country. So, schemes like National Youth Parliamentary Scheme is something which we have established, and we are going to educate each and every youth over there about the.
I request you to
What is she
please
talking about? I asked about electoral bond scheme. I asked about what is she saying?
Madam Speaker, electoral bonds, దీనికంటే ముందు బిజినెస్ మ్యాన్స్ ఇంకా కంపెనీస్ ఎట్లయితే పార్టీస్ కి ఎవరికి తెలియకుండా ముసుగు కప్పి ఫండ్స్ ఇచ్చేవాళ్ళు, ఆ వే బెటరా, లేకపోతే ప్రతి ఒక్కటి SBI దగ్గర డాక్యుమెంట్ అయ్యింది. when you buy electoral bonds, they give you proper certification, and now after the jurisdiction came that it is better for the public knowledge that all the bond should be released. Now it is a public information which company donated to which party and how much it donated. Very visible. Are they scared of the transparency?
Miss Trivitha, MP from Pondicherry. K. Sindhu, MP from Rajasthan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. According to India Employment Report 2024, 1 out of 3 youths in the country is unemployed. The unemployment rate among youth has reached 29.1% among those who already have a graduation degree. So with AI and automation rapidly transforming industries, what specific steps is the ministry is taking to safeguarding the jobs and also equip workers with relevant skills to adapt this change?
Madam Speaker, if I may, earlier in the question hour, I believe I've answered all of these, but still our entrepreneurship and skill development ministry will answer the same answer again, which shows the statistics then.
Madam Speaker, if I may, I think the question was directed to a different minister and not.
It is zero.
Yeah, I'm taking up that.
Youth unemployment was what she mentioned. I believe I've answered all of these before, but I'm still passing on to the other ministry. You're wasting time in other ways.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to begin. So under Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, our party has a fund of 12,000 crores dedicated to the youth, and 85% of this 12,000 crores has been put into training, infrastructure and certificates of various youth of our country, and 75% of the people in these schemes have already secured employment.
This 111. You may please be seated.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Vaishnavi P. MP from Tripura.
Thank you for the recognition, Madam Speaker. Today, I want to talk about the Nirbhaya Fund. Bank for the Safety of Women has seen a shameful underutilization, with less than 50% of the 1,000 crore allocated since 2013 being spent. Yes, 1,000 crore. Where has the money gone? Why hasn't it been used to protect the daughters of this country? Women continue to face daily dangers, yet essential initiatives like helplines, panic buttons and CCTVs remain incomplete. Is government truly serious about women's safety, or are these just empty words for political gain? We demand answers and immediate steps to utilize the funds effectively. Stop talking and start acting, please.
The ruling party may now answer.
You're talking about the Nirbhaya Fund.
Miss Nikita, you are expected to be respectful.
For crimes like rape and assault to decrease, we need a change in the mindset of people. The mindset of people which was ruined by when your party was in the ruling. It is not. The mindset of people cannot be changed in
You are not allowed to cross question, and you are not allowed to insult them. You've been asked a question, and we expect an answer.
You're talking about the Nirbhaya Fund, which was allocated, sanctioned to us, and we have been utilizing the amount of money which has been sent to our fullest extent. Thank you.
Miss Shravya, MP from Kiran.
From the Department of Women and Child Welfare.
Why didn't you do this earlier? You violated Miss Shravya, MP from Kerala.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would like to address about the lack of oxygen issue faced by the citizens of India during second phase of COVID-19. So it was found that almost 600 people died in the period of 2 months, and hospitals literally posted out of oxygen signs outside their hospitals due to the heavy rain. So I would like to question the government, was it their negligence or lack of planning because they already faced the same kind of situation in the first phase of COVID-19 in September 2020, but they still were unable to tackle the situation in 2021 during the second phase. I would like to...
Madam Speaker, thank you for the
Ms.
recognition.
Ravya, you can please be seated.
Opposition said that they have there is a lack of oxygen in the first phase, but this is absolutely false allegation. Yes, in the first phase there is no lack of oxygen. We, the India, exported oxygen to the foreign countries. Madam Speaker, in the second phase we had lack of oxygen.
The opposition is requested to stay calm.
In the first phase, there is no such a long corona cases we have registered for. Then again we have faced the lockdown. It is a pandemic. అది చాలా చెప్పకూడదు కానీ మనం చాలా నష్టపోయాం అధ్యక్ష. Like we are facing some economic crisis. Oxygen ఉన్నాయండి సెకండ్ ఫేజ్ లో.
Let me request the opposition, no cross questioning is allowed.
మేము 24/7 ఆక్సిజన్ కంట్రోల్ రూమ్స్ ని కూడా పెట్టాం. We have done everything about that. And also even the USA, China, అలాంటి పెద్ద countries కూడా they are unable to control this pandemic, but we India control that pandemic.
The ruling party,
we also,
you are requested to be seated. Your views have been taken into consideration. Now, Ms. Navya, MP from Assam.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Can I review the statistics?
Sure.
So, my major issue is about coal import scandals. Despite heavy public spending on promoting renewable energy, the coal import volumes have increased significantly in past years, actually. According to the National Green Energy Policy, we cannot exceed the limit of 100 million tons per year, but this year we have exceeded 237 million tons of coal, a rise of 10% compared to last year also. Also, the irony is that reports reveal 20,000 crore subsidies have been granted to coal-based power plants. Only 4,500 crore for renewables. My question.
Proceed with your question.
My question is to the Ministry of Coal Mines. Why is there an increase in coal imports when India has pledged to reduce its carbon footprint? And why are we undermining the gas agreement? And why is there failure to enforce green energy policies? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, may I? Allegations about coal import scandals are under investigation by agencies of DRI. These allegations are being addressed in court. With transparency, this government has empowered investigative agencies to operate freely. We have nothing to hide and will ensure that any wrongdoing is exposed and punished. Our government is focused on making India self-reliant in coal production with reforms in mining auction and efforts to achieve 1 billion tons of domestic coal. Is being introduced in India. And ma'am, I just want to ask one question. Why did the opposition
You are allowed to answer a question that has been asked.
Madam Speaker.
Rhetorical question, Madam Speaker. It's a rhetorical question.
Okay. Finish. Madam Speaker, if I may. Madam Speaker. Actually, I want to cross question.
I thought
You can't cross question. You cannot cross question.
They are talking about transparency and accountability. But then government is backing up and supporting.
Ms. Navya, you are not allowed to cross question. Have you gotten
No.
an answer?
Because
I don't need an explanation. Is it yes or no?
No.
Would the ruling party want to defend themselves? If yes, please stand up and do it. Honorable members of the House, now we have to proceed to the next.
Yes, ma'am. I would defend myself in one sentence. We will give your answer. If you cannot comprehend it properly, we'll get back to you with an easier ABC answer next time. Thank you.
We will proceed to the next business now. We will have to proceed to the next business now. Item number 111, the Women's Safety and Sanitation Enhancement Act. Ms. Prime Minister.
సమాజంలో అభివృద్ధి చెందాలనుంటే మొదలుగా ఆ సమాజంలోని స్త్రీలు బలవంతులుగా ఉండాలి మేడం స్పీకర్. Today we address a critical need for women's sanitation, menstrual hygiene and comprehensive sex education. These issues are the backbone of societal progress. Millions of women face daily challenges due to lack of awareness about menstrual health, leading to stigma, inequality and lost opportunities. Especially vital is sex education focused on reproductive health, essential to controlling the population growth and preventing early pregnancies and empowering informed choices. With that being said, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of Women and Child Development to take over.
Madam Speaker, I beg to move for leave to introduce the Women's Safety and Sanitation Enhancement Act 2024. Madam, I now introduce the bill.
Motion moved. The question is that the leave be granted to the Minister for Women and Child Welfare and Finance to introduce the Women's Safety and Sanitation Enhancement Act 2024. Those in favor will say aye, those against will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The leave is granted to the Minister without
Madam, I now introduce the bill. Clause 1. Title and commencement. This act shall come into force on the first day of January. Clause 2.
Clause 1 wasn't clear. Madam Speaker, the clause wasn't clear.
I request the Minister to be clear with the clauses.
Clause 1. Title and commencement. This act shall come into force on the first day of July 2025. Clause 2. Sanitation and menstrual hygiene programs. With a focus on underprivileged and labor and fields. Education and gender sex diversion. Sex education, consent, safe practices, and combating stigma around menstruation.
Monitoring and reporting. The Ministry of Women and Child Development, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance, shall oversee the implementation of this act. As Kofi Annan once said, there is no tool better for development, more effective than empowering a healthier, stronger, and more equitable future for our nation. मानवता की सेवा करने वाले व्यक्ति को ही मानव कहा जा सकता है. It is time we act wisely. Madam Speaker, I beg to move that the bill be taken into consideration.
The motion is that the Women's Safety and Sanitation Act be taken into consideration.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me the opportunity to address this House on a bill that first and first glance aims to prioritize women's safety and sanitation, but as the details unravel, it becomes evident that this is yet another example of style over substance and headlines over action. ఇన్ని సంవత్సరాల నుంచి మన దేశ ఆడబిడ్డల మీద లేని శ్రద్ధ ఈ అధికార పక్షానికి ఈనాడు ఎందుకు వచ్చింది? ఇప్పుడు వచ్చిన శ్రద్ధ కూడా ఇంకెన్నేళ్ళు ఉండబోతుంది? ఒక రోజు 2 రోజులు ఉండడం కంటే ఒక రోజు 2 రోజులు ఉండడం కంటే ఇంకెన్ని రోజులు ఉండబోతుందో అది కూడా నేను అధికార పక్షాన్ని ప్రశ్నిస్తున్నాను అధ్యక్ష. ఇప్పుడు ఇంకొకటి పబ్లిక్ టాయిలెట్ గురించి క్లాస్ 3 లో మెన్షన్ చేశారు. బృహత్ బెంగళూరు మహానగర పాలిక మన కర్ణాటక యొక్క మున్సిపాలిటీ గురించి ఒక స్టాటిస్టిక్స్ గురించి నేను రిఫర్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను అధ్యక్ష.
Statistics have to be summarized. You can't read every single thing.
1 crore of Bangaloreans stay in Bangalore and only 970 public toilets are being constructed. What about the rest? And also they plan to launch only one public toilet for based on the statistics whatever they have. What's the guarantee that they're going to maintain them properly? And also there's no proper పబ్లిక్ టాయిలెట్స్ కట్టినప్పటికీ వాటిని పరస్పరంగా ఉంచి దాన్ని సక్రమంగా నిర్వహించలేని ఈ ప్రభుత్వం ఇంకొన్ని రెస్టారెంట్స్ కట్టి వాటిని కూడా ఇంకా పునరుత్పత్తి చెంది తిరిగి మళ్ళీ ఆడవారు రోగాలు అవ్వలేరు అన్న గ్యారెంటీ ఏంటి అధ్యక్ష?
First order of business, they mentioned Bangalore about 180 million. I'm not sure about the figures, but let me remind you, Congress is ruling in Bangalore. Second, Madam Speaker,
you cannot say.
Opposition, Madam Speaker, the opposition is ruling there. Let me correct myself. Second, first of all the basis accusations do not have factual foundation, and we would not like to dignify such accusation with a response. But when they mentioned how we don't have conscious about women's safety or security so long, are they hinting that we shouldn't ever have it? Madam Speaker, we are a growing nation, and every step forward is a step towards the future. We bring out these clauses and statements and bills to make every day better. So you accusing of us saying how come it's coming now, it hasn't come in before? Maybe because the opposition was in power. Because the opposition didn't introduce any bills of such sort, doesn't mean we shouldn't.
Members, now the House will take the clause-wise consideration of the bill. The bill has 5 clauses. The question is that clause 1 to 5 do stand part of the bill. Those in favor will say aye, those against will say no. No! I think the ayes have it. The House is adjourned. Signed aye. What? The House is adjourned.
Live.